Hi, welcome to Proverbs chapter 7. Basically, let me just start out by reiterating that if someone repeats something to you over and over and over and over again, it's probably because it's really, really important. Like if you're getting instructions from a teacher and she keeps going over and over a certain subject again and again, most likely it's going to be on the test. If you're learning how to drive a car and someone keeps repeating how important it is to maybe use the brakes ahead of time and come to a stop sign, use the brakes, because it's important. In poetry, at the end of a prose, a lot of times they'll say something and then they'll repeat it for effect of really letting it sink in. If there is a concept that's being repeated over and over as we've done our study in Proverbs, it's to avoid the adulterous woman, avoid the immoral woman. So, I mean, in one portion it said many men have been slain by her. This almost whole verse of chapter 7 is dedicated to that, is avoiding the adulteress and avoiding the immoral woman. So, without any further ado, here we go. Proverbs chapter 7. My son, live according to what I am telling you. Guard my instructions as you would a treasure deep within you. So basically, I mean, there's a lot of popular things on TV, a lot of popular things on YouTube. But this right here, you could treasure within you. Remember at the beginning of Proverbs it said knowledge is more valuable and wisdom is more valuable than fine gold and silver. So once again, the scriptures open up with saying, stay true to my directives and they will serve you well. Treasure them deep within you. Make my teaching the lens through which you see life. Bind cords around your fingers to remind you of them. Meditate on them, and you'll engrave them upon your heart. Say to Lady Wisdom, my sister, recognize that understanding is your best friend, and they will keep you from the arms of another woman, from adultery. Protect you from the enchantress who entices men to her bed. Now it goes into some really, really good poetry right here. Just some really good descriptions and like setting up a movie. One day, I was watching from the window of my house, looking out through the lattice shutters, and there, among the usual crowd of the gullible people, I spotted a naive young man. What does naive mean? You believe everything you're told. Kind of like one of my other messages I was teaching where it's like you have, when you're a little kid at the fair, you believe that you can win that teddy bear, and every single carny guy is out to just give away their prizes, but a naive person, a naive young man. He was going down the street near the corner where she lived, that mysterious and evil woman, taking the road that led directly to her house. At the end of the day, as night approached and darkness crept in, I saw her. A woman came out to meet him. She was dressed for temptation and devious with her affections. Here's what I know about her. She's loud and obnoxious, a rebel against what is proper and decent. She's always on the move, anxious to get out of the house. Down the street, at times in the open square, at other times lurking around every corner. As I'm watching him, she grabs him and she kisses him with an impudent face, then shamelessly tells him, it was my turn to offer the peace offering, and today I paid my vows. So now I came to see you. I really want to be with you. And what luck, I found you. You'll be impressed. I've decorated my couch, laid colorful Egyptian linens over where we will be together, and perfumed the bed with exotic oils and herbs, myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come in and we will feast on love until the morning. We will delight ourselves with affections. You don't need to worry. My husband's a long ways away from home on a distant journey. He took a bag of money with him, so I don't expect him home until the next month. It worked. She enticed him with seductive words. She seduced him with her smooth talk. Right away, he followed her home. He followed her like a bull being led to the slaughter, like a fool caught in a trap. That is, until an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird flying into a net. He had no clue. His life was at stake. Everything was about to change. This is why it is so important that you listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to all that I'm telling you. Do not let your mind wander into her ways. Do not go the door of her house. Do not lose yourself adrift down her path. For she's claimed one life after another, victim after victim, too many to count. Her house is the gateway to hell, and her steps are down to the chambers of death. Pretty strong warning language right here. So we see that there's a temptation out there, and it leads you right down to death. The immoral woman. She came out, dressed seductively, had her whole bed laid out and ready for this guy, and basically he followed her, and he didn't know it would end in losing his life. Now, some people have taught, and this is just an interesting thing about Proverbs, that there's two women mentioned in Proverbs. There's Lady Wisdom, I'll mention, and the foolish lady. And in a way, you can look at the foolish lady as an analogy for the world itself. It's tempting, it's seductive, it lures you in, but a lot of its ways end in death. So basically just be strong. Don't always follow the temptation. It's been said over and over and over again so far in Proverbs chapter 7. So if you're listening, open your ears, take these things deep inside. Avoid loose women. Avoid them, avoid them, avoid them, avoid them is what the Bible says. And avoid the temptations of the world. All right? Thanks for tuning in to chapter 7, the book of Proverbs. Have a good day.